Hi everyone, welcome to the next week. For this week you're going to have a quiz on Chapter 9, and we're going to be focusing on the welfare effects of joint ventures and some of the challenges of multinational enterprises. When you look at an MNE, you're looking at operating in many host countries to really reduce the production within an economy. Production cost. Some examples of largest headquarters. If you look at Table 9.1, United States with Walmart, ExxonMobil, Chevron, you notice they have a very large presence in certain countries. So for this week, we're going to be looking at motives for why foreign direct investment. Why are we focused on the role of foreign direct investment? Countries are very concerned about foreign direct investment. And the reason why they're concerned about foreign direct investment is they're trying to put money into countries. And they can put money into countries by doing many different things. And they can push money in countries when we look at what the country has to offer. And that's the key thing that you look at. So if a country has a lot to offer in terms of resources, money will flow into that particular country. So what we look at is some of the quiz questions for this week. And some of the questions that we're going to be evaluating is, what is foreign direct investment and when does it typically occur? What is a multinational enterprise? What is a joint venture? Now remember, I'm going to give you more questions that you might see because it's a random pool of questions. You're going to have a graph, or you possibly could have a graph. And on the graph, you're going to look at the payments to the payments to capital owners. You're looking at where demand and supply intersect. Advantages of international joint ventures. What are some of the advantages? Firms that undertake multinational operations. Why do they pursue these options? American critics of U.S. multinational enterprises contend that they promote what? Critics of U.S. trade and immigration maintain what? What is their main criticism? What is a significant motive for the formation of a multinational enterprise? You're going to have a graph, and the graph is going to be looking at challenges to the labor force. So you have demand for labor, which is employers, supply of labor, which is employees. That's important. If you have immigration, you'll notice that the supply will increase. So if we have another graph and we look at migration and the labor force increases, what occurs in the graph with wages? Trade analysis involving multinational enterprises differ from our conventional trade analysis in that multinational enterprises emphasize what? What is direct foreign investment? So I'm going to give you some examples. Going to have another graph, and you're going to look at what is the labor market equilibrium and the wage rate an hour that will be paid. Another graph is going to be looking at what occurs when immigration comes into the United States. What happens to wages and quantity of labor? You're going to see an increase in supply. Then we're going to look at joint ventures in that particular graph, which is in your book at the beginning. If you look at domestic households and you want to look at consumer surplus is anything above the anything above the demand curve. I apologize. Anything above the price below the demand curve. That's the consumer surplus, that area. Below demand curve, above price. So you'll have potentially two graphs on that. So make sure to focus on really looking at the graphs, because over half of the questions you could get are potentially graphs, and also focusing on the benefits of multinational enterprises and the components of free trade. And if you have any questions, let me know. I am more than willing to assist, but I look forward to your effort this week.